long drive. I finally made it up to Jason's acreage. This trip's gonna be a blast.
Hips of the beaver.
We're hungry. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Alright, so we're up here on Jason's acreage. I carved him this maple bow so that way he can bow hunt while he's up here. And unfortunately he has an injury on his finger, so I'm gonna show him just shoot the bow just so he can see what it's all about, and then we'll go from there. Hey man, I hope this bow serves you well.
Thank you so much. I'll tell you right now, this is definitely going to it's going to sustain my family here on the acreage in harvesting wild game, and yeah, this is going to be a lifelong cherished item for me.
Man.
So thanks so much, brother.
It's my pleasure, man.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
I hope it serves you well.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Pumped. I'm glad you love it, man.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So here we have the chanterelle mushroom. It's very distinct. You can actually smell it. Once you find out what chanterelles are, you know what the chanterelle smells like. It's a very distinct fruity smell. Here you can distinctively see what may look like actual gills are actually ridges. The ridges are attached to the mushroom. They don't flake off. Now, it's very important that you know what you're picking here. As you can see, you have the ridges. However, out in this area, we also have what would be considered as the jack-o'-lantern mushroom. And I'm not even going to cut it, I'm just going to pick it out. It has a hollow stem, and clearly you can see the marked difference between a gill, which are the straight lines, and I'm not going to get them on my fingers, but the gills will actually flake off compared to the ridges, which are attached to the actual mushroom itself. Also, the jack-o'-lantern mushroom, not only do they glow at night from bioluminescent light, but you will sometimes see this little dark spot in the middle. This here is a little bit of an older mushroom, but this will be the exact same color as a chanterelle at the same time of the season.
So don't get them confused.
So here we have the Scarlatina bolete. I don't know exactly why, but it has to do with the oxidization of the actual mushroom. And this is a bolete, so it's clearly a bolete underneath. And you can already see the stem is changing colors. Underneath, you have the stem with red stripes, a little bit of yellow and red mixtures. And watch what happens when I cut through this mushroom. That deep, deep blue color. Wherever it bruises underneath where the pores are, you can see I'm leaving my fingerprints on that pore right there. Split that open with your hands and watch it change. The mystery of the mushroom.
Before we head out on this trip, we figured we'd do a quick flat lay just so you could see what gear we have and why we're bringing it and what it is. So to start, my Ramir's Wilderness axe. It goes with me everywhere. I love that axe and I wouldn't choose another one. Above that is my Native American flute I made recently for this trip. Adventure Sworn bucksaw, Adventure medical kits, first aid kit. That's always a must anywhere I go. First aid is very important when you're out in the wilderness, especially the remote wilderness. Jason harvested a deer, and this is jerky he made, and it's just straight up venison and sea salt. And I stole a piece of my rations already, and it's delicious. This is a fishing hand reel made by yours truly, or Billy Can. They're great. And there's a little pan in the top lid. Adirondack Wilderness Co. Bushcraft knife with a fire steel there. Heavy cover ink canteen set with my Badger Claw leather pouch that attaches to my belt. Comes in handy in the bush. Frost River pack. As well, underneath there's a caribou hide which we'll be sleeping on. And I'll hand it over to Jason to his side of the gear.
So I'll start here. At the beginning I just have this little pan and pot for myself. Over here we have the extra fishing reel that Nick has made for me, the hand reel. And our plan is right here, and as you can see a little bit up here, I have a beaver, I guess that would be his hip bones, and some ribs and some spine. And we're gonna try to make some reels or lures out of these bones. Also over here I just have my old infantry canteen that I harvested. Over here we have about a pound of morel, black morel mushrooms that I got in the springtime that I dried, and that's just some wild edibles that we're going to be starting our trip off with. Some more venison. Here we have the ceremonial tobacco, Virginia leaf tobacco from Turtle Lodge Trading Post. This is going to be used for ceremonial purposes, and also for blessing the area and smudging our shelter. Here we have that little thing right there. This is the pocket bellow. That's going to be used to help with our fires. Here I have some harvested sweet grass, which we'll also be using as a smudge. These two little things right here are the cause of this, which is my cut off top of my finger. They are 2 cherry burl tobacco pipes that we'll also be using with the Virginia leaf tobacco. Over here we have some sinew wrapped in a coil that we can use for different projects while we're on site. I have my LT Wright knife, amazing bush knife with my striker stick. And then of course my Wetterlings forest axe. I take that everywhere with me, and again, the cause of this. I also have my outdoor Canadian Outdoors buck saw. We have a bug net here and my Rocky pack. And this is our totality. This is what we're bringing out for 4 days. Our minimalist kit. We're very excited to go out there, harvest only wild edibles from the land. And this is what we'll be bringing with us to sustain ourselves over that time. All right, so we're just going to show you the clothing that we're wearing over the next 4 days. Right here I have on my side for Bushcraft Baron, we have a deer that I harvested up in Red Lake, Ontario. I did a brain tan of the skin, and this beaver fur collar is a beaver that was hit by a car about a month ago, and I also tanned the hide of that. That's just going to give me a little bit of comfort around the neck area. I didn't have time to make pants out of the skin, so here I just have a pair of redhead camel pants. Very important at this time of year because the brush is very long and it's going to be cutting up my legs, so long pants are necessary. I also have a Canadian Infantry issued belt, which I have worn for many years, and a couple of no-name sandals that I'm just going to be wearing out there. So I'll start off for Nick on this side. I made this shirt here for Nick, Blackwater Bushcraft. Essentially what that is it's moose hide that's been smoked, and these little buttons going up I made out of sinew with beaver ribs as buttons. So that's going to be his shirt for the week, and I'll let him explain what's going on down here.
Classic Bushcraft fall raven pants. We're going to be pushing bush a lot. So I opted to bring my Daner boots as well as the pants. Once we're in camp, I'm pretty sure I'll be barefoot from there on out.
We're about to head out to the bush for about 4 days. This is our last non-wild edibles meal, and we're going to enjoy it. Mini wheats.
Alright, we're just pushing bush through the first part of our trail here. Once we get to this, then we'll depart from the vehicle. Oh yeah, bud. Alright, so we're just scoping out a potential spot. It's nice and clear up here, so space is always welcome. Lots of mushrooms. We've seen some clams on the shore, or in the water at the shore. It always seems the nice wide open spaces have the least amount of resources.
I know.
So we found somewhat of an ideal spot back here on this side of the lake. There's a lot more resources here, that's for sure. And the scenery is just phenomenal. As well, the sun will be setting over here somewhere, so we'll, if we're on this side, we'll get the last of today's sun, or make the most of the sun before it goes down. And honestly, I just can't get over the scenery, so this is prime real estate. We've decided this spot is a good omen. We got chaga right here. I take that as a good sign. That's gonna be tasty for later. And we go up on this nice rock here. Look at that. It's a nice view. See anything up here worth looking at?
I don't think so, Nick. I think... Well, I mean, there's lots of birch here, which is great.
Yeah.
We could make our way a little bit more down there, but I think we found a good spot with everything.
Yeah, by that tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could come here just to get our roofing.
Oh, I think this is good.
Yeah, I'm satisfied.
Beautiful.
It's a really nice day out today. Life is good. Check this out. It's completely hollow, yet still intact. So the birch tree, the wood rots inside. That's why it's very hard to find seasoned wood in the forest, or seasoned birch in the forest, because it rots inside this bark before it ever gets a chance to dry. So what we're thinking is we're gonna huddle under this tree. We'll clear this stuff out, and we're essentially gonna try and use these as little ridge poles, and we're gonna build basically 2 lean-tos in a V shape, and we'll sleep here and have our fire here. We'll be laughing. And then it's prime real estate right here. Before we start taking from the land and using it to suit our needs, we're gonna just do a tobacco blessing of the land. It's kind of a traditional thing to do, and you just spread it around. It's important to show respect for the land you're in. Red Squirrel agrees. Thank you for everything we're gonna get from this.
Okay, we're just in the infancy stage of our shelter, and we're essentially what we're collecting here is our cordage. So we're in our hardware store right now, and if you go to the base of the balsam tree, you'll find these roots running out, and luckily we have some nice soft loamy soil here. And what Nick's doing is he's following along where that root line is, and bit by bit following the trail system. And once we get these out, we just give them a little bit of a clean. Here we go, there's the end of it.
And there's one more here.
And there's another one. Sometimes they intertwine with each other. And what we're going to be doing is just collecting a whole bunch of these, and we'll be using them to help secure the ends of our shelters and for other uses as well. So we'll be working away at this for a while. Make those into a coil. And you could also split these into 4 separate ones for some of the larger coils. But I think we're just going to leave them whole for now. Okay, so this is the beginning of the structure. What you see here is some Y structure supports. Same with over here, with some heavier beams on the side. And attaching here, here, and over here, we have some significant cordage, essentially acting as our paracord. So what we're going to do is we're going to do A-frame steep pitch, A-frame steep pitch. We'll have our fire over here in the middle between the two of us, and you can kind of see at the back I've made just a little bit of an angle down here on the side where my feet are going to go, and of course from there a beautiful view of the lake.
This is easy work. We picked the perfect spot, eh? Nice.
Very perfect.
Lots of resources around. I haven't even broken a sweat yet, and we're like halfway done.
Glorious.
Good progress so far.
Good progress so far. What we've got is the ribs running up and down at a steep pitch in case we do get some rain. We're going to want that rain to obviously fall off. How are we going to protect ourselves? Well, we're going to be making these birch bark shingles from some dead birch that's just behind us here. Not only good for starting a fire with, but great for use as a shingle. Covers a wide area. It's lightweight. It's not going to put a lot of extra weight on your shelter. So that's kind of the next step here. And as you can see, every single one of these here is tied down with some balsam roots, natural cordage. And just a few other considerations that you want to be thinking about when you are building your shelter. We didn't touch on it earlier, is you obviously don't want to be creating your shelter under somewhere that has a large dead tree. So we did scout that out before we built our shelter here.
So another good tip when you're building a shelter is that when you cut down your trees for the shelter, you want to drag the whole tree back and limit where you're at camp, because now all our boughs are in one place and we don't have to remember where we cut trees and limbed them. Just bring everything back And we gotta make a bed.
Okay, so we're gonna get ourselves some shingles here. We're gonna make a nice big pile. We're gonna stack them, and then we're gonna start putting them on. What you wanna find is a nice rotted, fully rotted birch tree. And you're gonna take your knife and you're gonna run it right through there. Nice and quick. Don't sit there and saw away, it'll take you forever. And then you wanna work your way through that tree, just like so. And there's a shingle. And you'll want to clean some of that stuff out on the inside. Make sure there's no bugs in your shelter, but looks pretty rainproof to me.
And as well, you don't have to hurt any living trees.
We got our pile of dead birch bark, some large pieces, some smaller pieces for patching. And the next step is we're going to be taking this and putting it on top of the shelter.
Shelter installed. That feels so good.
Woo!
So refreshing. Not even Canadian warm, it's just warmer. There's our camp up there. We're back in the boat. We're gonna do some fishing now.
All right, we're a little bit ecstatic right now because we just got some food. And it's a lot of energy to build a shelter of that capacity on your first day. So this is definitely going to put some calories back into us. And we're very excited.
Fish number 2
Fish
from
number
Jason.
2. Thanks, Nick.
Hand line works great.
Awesome.
Awesome, man.
We're
No,
eating-
don't thank me, man. Thanks for the fish. I gotta go catch one
We're
now.
eating tonight.
Fucking A right we are.
All right, so we've filleted these fish here. We have 3 fish between the 2 of us. And one of the fish actually had some fish eggs in it. So that's going to be some great energy for us before bed. Hydrate and just get that energy back into us. And essentially all we're doing here is we're going to be cooking this right on the rock, right next to the fire. And when it starts cooking, turns white, we're going to flip it around and it'll be ready to eat. No dishes tonight.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's our bass eggs. Hoping to get some really good energy from these. There's 2 each. Your turn, Nick.
Uh-oh. That makes me a little nervous.
Oh, you're all right.
Yeah? Alright.
Good energy. Mm-hmm. You can tell.
Northern caviar.
Yeah.
You know, that tastes pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
When you said it's your turn, I was expecting it to taste like vomit or something.
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
Tastes like energy.
And they're almost ready. All right, man. First breakfast or first meal since the mini wheats this morning.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Get her into you.
Thank you. Don't you just love that warmth that just runs down your body?
Energy.
Yeah.
This little mushroom here is called a puffball mushroom. It's similar to the giant puffball. And as you can see in the middle, before they go bad, they're nice and solid, just pure mushroom. So we're gonna put that on the fire. And this is an omen to tomorrow for good mushroom hunting, because we will be hopefully foraging plenty of mushrooms. Just a small little bit, but it's like a mushroom marshmallow.
Oh, sweet. No.
What do you think?
Actually is like a mushroom marshmallow.
I know.
Marshmallowy.
More. Need more.
Yeah, we'll get more tomorrow. Alright, I've had this moose meat in my my freezer, sorry, for the last few months. I even wrote poison, do not eat. Look good?
Oh my goodness. I am like salivating. Oh my God.
I'm just gonna put them up on the rock here.
Our old cooking rock.
They're sizzling.
That's great. That's just amazing.
This is gonna taste so good. Actually, now that we're doing this, I realized we put the moose meat into the freezer when I got to Jason's house, and we never spoke about it in the intro, so we brought this moose meat for the first night because we knew building the shelter was just gonna kill our energy, and it's natural, harvested from the land, and it's gonna be so good.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. Glorious. All right, these two pieces are ready to go. Cheers, Jay. Oh my God. Just insane.
So good.
I have goosebumps.
I know.
We're so lucky.
Yeah.
This is prime real estate right here. If this is all we had, we'd be living good.
So today we got one of the largemouth bass there, and we cut open its stomach just to see what they're eating. And unbeknownst to us, there are some crayfish in this lake. So what we did is we took that bass, we put it back down by a log near the canoe, and given the crayfish a chance to get back. And then on top of that, then we're gonna go try to eat some crayfish. So we're gonna head down to the lake there and see if we can get ourselves a little midnight snack.
Day one complete, and I would say it's definitely a success. We got this shelter built up, and got food in our bellies, which is great. It's been an awesome time. We've had a lot of fun, and it was honestly easy because Jason and I work so well together, so I'm interested to see what the next 3-4 days have in store for us. So I guess we'll see you in the AM. Cheers, guys. It's 6:30 in the morning. I've probably been up since 5. It got really cold last night. Jason's still asleep, so I'm gonna do a little more fishing because I could hear them jumping, so I thought I'd come down here. And even if I don't get fish, look at this scenery. Heaven is a place on earth. I've been there. It's nice. I'll turn the camera back on if I catch anything good. I haven't caught anything yet, but I literally just casted one line. It got so cold last night, and it was hard. It was hard sleeping. I got up every hour just putting up more firewood in the fire. But that doesn't mean anything now, because look at this scenery behind me. It's just gorgeous. Life is good.
Alright, it's morning day 2. On the positive note, my stomach is still full. We're hydrated. On the negative note, as usual, it doesn't matter where I sleep. If I'm in a hotel or I'm glamping like where I am right now, I usually don't sleep on the first night. And both Nick and I did not sleep at all. It got down to 5 degrees. It was freaking cold, and I don't think I got 1 hour of sleep minimum. That's alright. It just means I'm going to sleep better tomorrow night. But the plan now is we're just warming up a little bit here, and we're going to take the canoe over, and today is a gathering day, harvesting. So we'll see what nature's bounty has in store.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yet another fish caught on Nick's hand reel there. Just a decent sized largemouth bass for breakfast. He'll be on the fire within 5 minutes.
So we got breakfast on the go. Nice bass. Also had some fish eggs.
Fish and eggs.
Fish and eggs for breakfast.
Get them while they're hot. Alright, so here we have the white birch, paper birch, if you want to call it that. This here is called chaga or chaga. It is extremely good for you, very high in antioxidants and minerals and vitamins. Essentially how this is created, you can see that a branch has fallen off the tree here. And as a result, the tree heals itself by taking all the vitamins and minerals from the soil, pumping them into one spot and healing it. And it forms almost this scar. The really good stuff is this stuff here on the outside, this black stuff. And essentially you take a chunk of this and you make a tea out of it, and then now you're going to be taking all those vitamins and minerals into you. Great energy, very, very good for you. And we'll be making some of this on the trail while we're looking for some edibles for the day.
Alright, so we got some nice pieces of birch bark we'll use for our roofing or for fire starter throughout the middle of the night. But firstly, we're going to use some of it for our wild tea. Not a lot of people know you could use birch bark for tea, but it actually tastes really good. It's almost minty, and it's really good for your lungs and your central nervous system, as well as your veins. It's good for your veins, like circulatory. So we'll take, this should be enough for a tea, because I know we're probably gonna be adding lots of wild edibles into it. But for now, it's going in the pot.
All right, before we start this this journey here for our food for hopefully the rest of our trip, we did not bring any bug spray with us, and we are in the middle of the wilderness, so it's time to nut up and mud up.
Oh yeah. You know, some places you'd pay a lot of money to do this.
Yeah, like this, you know, this is glamping at its finest.
Yeah,
Can you do my right arm, Nick? Because
yeah.
my
Oh yeah, yeah.
finger there.
Yeah, let me get these out of here.
It's a good team building exercise, you know, spreading mud on each other.
It also help keep the sun off us, as we don't have any sunscreen either.
I don't know if I've ever felt manlier than I do right now.
Yeah.
Wearing
Seriously.
animal skins and putting mud on us. How's my face? Am I covered? This here is the beaked hazel tree. Looks pretty similar to an alder tree, but the bark is a little bit different. Essentially, this is the wild version of hazelnuts. And as you can see up here, they have that beak on them, like so. And they typically grow in crops of 2, 3, 4, 5. In the springtime or late summer, to late summer, you'll find them to be green. Right now they're dried and they're very limited in resources. We're competing against the red squirrels for everything, so there's not much left. Typically 1 out of every 5 will actually be edible, because you'll find worms in them, but fish and bait. And the best thing about these, no cooking required. All right, we're making our way along the trail here, and just notice this patch. I've got quite large hands actually, and here we have a wolf track. So you got the rear tracks and the front tracks. If you look at the size of those claws, absolutely deadly. Couple days old. All right, we walked about 10 feet, and over here, not fresh, we have some cow tracks walking this way, up over into the brush, looking for some browse probably.
Moose cow, that is.
Okay, we're just walking along here. We're probably about the 4-kilometer mark, trying to make our way to some cattails, and I just happened to see this yarrow right here. And it's very distinguishable, almost looks like a carrot leaf, but when you smell it, it's very herbally. And once somebody's pointed it out to you, you will know what yarrow is. If you're cutting your lawn and you cut through some yarrow, once you know what it is, you'll know that you're cutting through some yarrow. Typically it comes up and you do have this white flower head on top that almost looks like it's part of the carrot family. But the big thing about yarrow, it's been used since the early times. Achilles is actually known to use yarrow in the battles to heal wounds, mainly as a styptic. So you would use this stuff on your cut as a wash, and that's going to help coagulate your blood. So we're going to bring some of this back because the tireder we get and the hungrier we get, it's harder to make those little decisions. You get a little nick with the knife, and you take some of this, put the juice on your wound, and that's going to help seal it up.
So we got old man's beard here that we're gonna take with us. It has a lot of different uses. You could use it in teas, and I even seen my buddy online make cordage out of it. But specifically why I want it is because at our camp we get a lot of sap on our hands. It's a balsam forest. So all you really do is just rub it in, and the dust it creates a coating over the sap, so that way you're not sticking to everything anymore. It technically doesn't get rid of the sap, but it neutralizes it, so that way you're not sticking to everything. And then also, if you look behind you, we have fresh moose tracks, cow moose going along. Those are fresh. We have come across some dewberries, and they're oh man, I don't even have words. I'm so hungry. I'm just really excited. Yeah. We're gonna put them in the hat and divide them evenly and boost up our sugar levels.
Cheers
Cheers, man.
to brambleberries.
Oh, so good. You almost taste like pomegranate. So good.
You can actually feel the energy rushing through your body instantaneously.
It's amazing. So good.
Very good.
You just bound them back?
Yeah, I
Okay.
wanted it all. I wanted the full effect. And the juice.
Mm.
So good.
Mm-mm.
So good.
Mm-mm.
We ate you. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that was good, man.
Oh. While we're picking these, Jason noticed there's even some raspberries left. So we're lucky.
Very lucky.
Yeah, right now is a very hard time for wild edibles. And we've been getting lucky so far. We've also found one blueberry each, which is
Amazing.
Oh,
So good.
wild blueberries are like nothing else in this world. It tastes nothing like the grocery store. Even when you're buying wild blueberries at the grocery store, they taste nothing like actual blueberry in the forest. They taste like candy. Blueberry jubes.
So good.
So good! So, We finally got to the cattails here. All along here. 6-kilometer walk we did. It's gonna be really tricky to film this, so we're just gonna pull them out and just show you what we got afterwards, just because there's no stable ground for me to even set up the camera.
All right, guys, we entered into some leech infested water. Only got, Nick, how many did you get?
Can't remember now. 4 or 5.
Yeah, anyways, our legs are bleeding, but they're gone. Here we have a bunch of cattail roots. You have this starchy innard. You can kind of see it here. It's very stringy, but if you cook that good enough, you can kind of chew it between your teeth. And if you get it baked well enough, it can kind of be like a asparagus type consistency. But what else you get here that grows off of these is the laterals. So you can eat these raw. However, we are not going to eat them raw because they came from some pretty muddy water. So we're going to be slicing and dicing these bad boys into some of that soup. And we're looking forward to the starch.
So we're going to be cooking up the cattail laterals and a little bit of that venison jerky we have for the salts, and we found a puffball we're going to throw in there too. So this is the old man's beard we collected. I'm going to use this to get our fire going. And if you come over here, this is the balsam fir tree. And the beauty thing about the balsam fir is it has these little pockets that are full of sap, and the sap is very flammable. So I'll do that to a couple pockets here. And that should take a spark, no problem.
Quick and dirty.
Very quick. Tasty fire.
So we're making our cattail laterals, sorry, soup. And I'm essentially sorting through these, and I'm just putting them in almost whole, breaking them up just into large sections. Has some beautiful brown tea water for the aesthetic look, of course.
Should be good.
And this is definitely going to give us enough energy to make the 6-kilometer journey back home.
Venison, puffball, and lateral cattails are done. We're just gonna sit down and enjoy this off camera because we're just out of energy.
All right, so we finished our soup, and it gave us the energy that we needed to get back 6K back to our canoe. We didn't film anything on the way back. We just wanted to get there, drop our stuff off because the sun was starting to go down. We've been gone all day covering trail and collecting some food. And now we've caught 5 fish here with our hand casters. And that's gonna be some much needed protein and energy for bedtime. So.
we just went for a little swim before bed. Got the fire raging. We got chaga tea going, and water for tomorrow on another pot, and fish cooking up on the rock. We're gonna call it an early night tonight just because we're pretty tired, and we're just gonna enjoy the scenery while it's still visible. Oh, that fish. Can't wait. Oh, I think I hear the water boiling.
Alright, so it's the morning of day 3. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning-ish. And we both didn't really sleep very good last night. It got down to close to 0 degrees Celsius. And we had a pretty decent fire going throughout the night, but just couldn't sleep. Couldn't find a good position, couldn't really stay that warm. So our plan is, we both just kind of got up at the same time, got the fire going, warm our bodies up. We're starting to get the shivers. And the plan is probably procure some food this morning, maybe some fish. And then once things start to warm up a little bit, we're probably going to take like a 1 or 2 hour nap. Nick's been going on 3 days now with about 4 hours of sleep. So it's important that we rest our bodies when we can. And then we'll be up and at 'em. We'll be doing some campcraft throughout the day. And the fish are jumping out there already.
So right now we're just doing a little home maintenance. I'm redoing my bedding just to fluff it up a bit here. Squirrels are throwing shit at us. And we're just burning this down to coals. And
We have the merino wool kerchief here from North-X North. Always looking for new ways to find it. And we found a new invention for it, which is the cattail rhythm carrier. They're throwing pine cones at us like monkeys. We're going to be trying a cooking method with this that our ancestors probably would have done something similar with roots to soften the starches. As I get smoke in my face, I'm spreading these ashes. Let's get to the base. And our ancestors on the shores of Great Britain, I imagine, would have done something quite similar with some of their sea plants. We're just going to cover those up, let them bake, and the skins of these rhizomes should peel off when they're done. and we should be able to extract that starch from the middle. That's going to be kind of like a asparagus consistency when it's done. So we're going to just let those bake in those coals for a couple hours, and we'll see you back then. Wormy. 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 Worms. So, wee little hazelnut.
Can't find it on the list.
Smells like bannock.
So the key to these is you have this outside almost like a dry rind of the rhizome, and when you open it up, that's where you're gonna really get those starches in there. Some will be harder than others, so you may just have to chew on them to get the starch out, but
Oh my god, so good.
they almost come out like little cheese strings.
Yeah, seriously.
And you can just, it's so starchy.
Fresh as it gets. Maybe because I'm crazy hungry, but like I taste like potato-ish a bit, but I feel like I taste like a little slight hint of like coconut. You do? Okay, so
Yep.
I'm not just mad with hunger.
No. Pound it into some water, into some warm water. That's going to release those starches, and you can ingest it that way as well. You could boil that water down or let it evaporate. So what you're left with is a starchy sludge. Dry that out in the sun, and now you've got flour.
I bet that flour would taste amazing. This honestly tastes really good.
Some of these, I think I'm gonna do that. Even if you don't swallow the strings, you can chew it in your mouth and it makes this paste. That's like a flour paste. It's essentially just a chunk of starch.
Like, who thought to do this first? How did it come from? Who thought to dig down, way down below the root and make bread out of it?
Hey, we're on day 3. We've been pretty sleepy, kind of just sleeping in the sun, catch up on sleep that we've been missing. We're hungry. It's getting so cold at night, and it's very cold today. The winter winds are coming in. We've been doing good with fish and mushrooms and other wild edibles. I'm just walking around this balsam stand looking for some balsam fir sap to eat. Doesn't taste good, but it actually gives you a nice little shot of energy, so I'm gonna eat some of that before I go get some more firewood for the rest of the day. Once that's done, then we're gonna probably just spend the rest of our time fishing. And yesterday we did a big haul of edibles, so we're just kind of mellowing out today, which is nice because it's cold. So I'm just gonna walk around and look for that sap. Now that it's colder, the sap is starting to return back into the tree away from the bark. So I'm gonna look for a sunny side of a balsam tree and get some blisters. When eating the sap, you just don't want to get any on your teeth because it'll be stuck there for a while. I actually don't mind the taste. It tastes pretty good, to me at least. The sap is really good if you have a sore throat. Every little bit of energy counts. I'm going to show you how to call in a red squirrel. All I'm doing is mimicking the sound of a newborn red squirrel in distress, and you just kind of suck through your teeth. You just go. Just do that and they'll come to you. It's a good thing about squirrels, they're good people. They try and help out their young.
Around your camp, right? Obviously, we've been lucky we've had no rain the last couple days. Just so quick improvement where you're not burning a lot of calories. You could go around, you could get these longer boughs. You could put them all up, squeeze them up here. And that's going to help shed away if you do get some rain. Maybe not so much a rainstorm, but at least some light rain. And that's going to deflect it away from your shelter, especially if it's coming in here. Again, another reason why we built it underneath some of these white pine. Another idea that we would have if we had more time here, if we were here for another week, we'd definitely be building some more. But you could essentially build a temporary A-frame, which would be a wall maybe with some birch bark that's removable, that you could pick up, and when required for heat or for rain, before you go to bed, you'd come in and you could have it ready and you could prop it up here. And that's going to close you in, protect you from the rain. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a few more of these up here. And something you always want to consider is continually working on your camp to make it better, more comfortable.
Boost morale too.
Huge boost. I have this kind of little bit of a model. Still going to allow that heat to come up underneath your shelter. So I'm still going to be able to capture some of that heat under here, and then it's just going to be that much more trapped up inside when I'm trying to sleep at night. So we're down here at the lake, and we're going to be doing two things. I got this piece of birch bark here. We're going to be making a bowl, a big bowl that we can fill up with water, and we're going to be collecting some clams here. Now, I'm not a big fan of clams, freshwater clams, but it's very important that you, either way, like them or not, you put them in some water for 24 hours, at least 12 hours. Let them work their goop out of them, or else you're going to be eating dirt. So I'm just going to go around here and collect ourselves maybe half a dozen of these, and that'll just be a little snack to snack on. I got half a dozen clams, birch bark basket. Didn't take me a lot of calories to make this basket. It's just a basic piece of birch bark. This is some small white pine or balsam, and they just act as peg legs. So we're going to let these sit here for the next several hours, let them spew out some of their crud, and we'll just have a little appetizer before supper time.
Making a pot hanger, and I just got the tip of the knife into the side of my finger here, so that yarrow is coming in handy now. Jason wrapped me up, and it doesn't hurt. It's honestly not that deep. It was just annoying that it kept bleeding. Pot hanger installed. This will make it easier for us to boil multiple pots of water throughout the night rather than just sitting one in the fire, and it'll be easier for us to take it off the fire. I might put another notch here so that way it sits up really high, and that way we could leave it up there overnight and it'll be nice and cold by the morning. But little camp improvements just help things out mentally and physically. And to my left here we got Jason, the Baron, making fishing lures out of beaver skeleton.
Halfway done.
That looks pretty good,
yeah,
man.
There's the tail, and hopefully that'll swim like that, top water. So this is the finished lure. Don't know if we'll catch anything with it, but we've got a part of the hips of the beaver. I've taken a knife, made the two little holes in the bottom. Just have a little swivel so I can switch it out if I need. And back here there was a grouse that was attacked way before we got here, and there was some feathers left over, so I used some sinew here to wrap that on the back, hopefully attract some fish, and just a little treble hook at the back. So we'll see how it works.
Alright, so we got, clearly you can see there's termites in there. We got birch bark, wintergreen leaves, white pine needles, and chaga for our afternoon tea. The termite tea is ready. What a view we have. Let that steep for a bit.
Absolutely. Hey, here at the Bushcraft Barons, Bushcraft Cribs, I'm going to show you around. Come along. This is Blackwater Bushcraft and Bushcraft Barons Crib. This is where the magic happens. Blackwater Bushcraft, he doesn't screw around. He sleeps with a homemade native flute on his reindeer skin, right from Norway. Got a sick balsam fir bough bed, nice and comfy. His shelter here is made of only wild natural materials with balsam fir roots for twine. He's got a roof made of birch bark here, and he's lined it with balsam fir boughs. Over to my bedroom. Come on in, nice and cozy. Same thing, we got some reindeer skin in there. I got a little bit of rainproof here with some balsam fir. Now we're here in the kitchen. Nice and cozy. You got all your fuel here. Cooking up some water. Got a nice Bushcraft seat here. Mountain Manly. Check it out. Here on the kitchen table, we got some chaga drying out. We got some usnea, old man's beard. We got some termite tea on the go as we speak. Termites, birch bark, white pine, and we got some wintergreen in there. It's gonna be delicious. It's where we get our smudge on, right here. Whenever you want to get your smudge on, you just come to the kitchen. Need to crack some clams. I got my clam cracking rock. Always got these clams handy, ready to go, ready to eat anytime. Right on the kitchen fire. All right, show you around the back of our shelters. Again, we got the Bushcraft Shelter 2.0 here, the upgraded version. Extra roofing, extra rainproof, and nice and cozy. Bring you over to the washroom. You gotta brush your teeth. You gotta take a piss. This white pine tree here is ready to take it all. Right on the tree. Right there. That's the washroom. If you need some tickets, all down here you can grab some moss, use as tickets. Then the best part of the Bushcraft crib, right over here, we just installed a brand new 2018 infinity pool. And let me tell you, this thing is awesome. It's about 20 acres in size, no neighbors around the pool. We stocked it with largemouth bass. It's just awesome to have. Every Bushcraft crib's got to have one of these. Well, thanks for visiting. Bushcraft Baron, Blackwater Bushcraft Crib. Hope to see you guys again. Who knows what updates we'll have next time. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
To termite tea.
The termite tea. Oh, that's actually good. I know I feel that acidity that you're talking about.
Definitely some fumic acid in there.
The wintergreen is definitely helping with that, I think. Interesting texture. Yeah, really, the acidity, I can taste that. It's like lemonade without the flavor. Nonetheless, it's good. And with birch bark, white pine needles, chaga, and the termites, I imagine it's pretty potent tea. Lots of nutrients.
All right, just went to the local hardware store, AKA The Bush, and we bought some fishing stringers here that we're going to be using when we catch our fish, of course. And we'll be putting this beaver bone, grouse tail, sinew lure to the test, see if anybody's hungry. Because I certainly am.
Let's go fishing. Okay. All right, so it's day 3, and we got 4 more fish in the canoe. So we're gonna go back. We're starving, and we're gonna make up morel mushroom, venison jerky, and the fish, and we're gonna put it all into a stew. And it's gonna taste so good. I can't wait to eat. And I'm pretty pumped.
Right, we have our little appetizer here of freshwater clam. Let's see how it is. Very clammy.
Toss me one of those.
Hey,
Not,
Oh.
not as bad as I thought.
there's protein, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get her into you.
Mm-hmm. So hungry, I forgot to film this. All right, cheers, man.
Cheers. Final
What a-
meal of the trip
What a good one.
and the best.
All right, so no one's around for a million miles, and when I'm in those places, it feels so good to just yell as loud as you can. Listen for the echo. Nine times.
Wow, awesome.
Fucking awesome. So, before we have our last meal here, I brought this flute, and Jason brought all the smudging materials we need to bless our trip, as well as give respect back for all the resources that have kept us alive this week. I'm seriously proud of both of us that we've just been on the ball, and we're so in sync with each other. We are a great team together. It's almost at the point where we just don't even need to talk. We just know our jobs and we get them done. And Jason, I just wanted to thank you as well for teaching me about mushrooms, and just for being a best friend, man.
Thanks, man. Same.
This has been a great trip.
Yep.
And thank Mother Nature that she kept us alive. And I'm forever grateful. And I love being out here, and I'm also looking forward to go home and seeing my sweetheart again, and it's just hard finding your place back in the society after being out here. It's just two different worlds, and it's I guess we're lucky that we get to live both of those worlds.
I'm just gonna light this up.
Okay.
I think you covered it all. Yeah, just thankful for nature sustaining us and coming out strong and having a full belly with solely wild edibles, and coming out tomorrow morning feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're leaving full, and we're leaving energized, which is such a good feeling. It hasn't been a struggle. It's gonna be great. So on that note, let's give our thanks. Let's give a gift back to the land.
See you in the misty morning, man.
Best glamping trip ever.
Yeah, we know how to glamp right. So comfortable. So warm.
It is. All right, so it's the morning of day 4. We're about to head back out, start the journey back, and just kind of want to put one final say in here is that thing about bushcraft, it's very important that we're able to share our experiences with others. I hope that anybody that watches this video may have picked up something new along the way, and that's our hope. So hope that you guys enjoyed as much as we enjoyed this too, and both of us are excited to finish this journey, hop back into the canoe out onto that misty water, and yeah, start our travels home.
Yeah, it's gonna be another nice day today. And as always, this isn't a one-time deal. We're always gonna be doing trips like this, so we'll be sure to keep filming. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as we did, because it's been a blast.
It has.
So I just feel good that we're leaving as energetic as we got here.
Absolutely.
And thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Cheers.